This week's Piltch Point with Avram Piltch is proudly powered by Monster Products. The headphones on my head right now, the Monster DNAs. Alante's got the Monster Elements.
They're Scots.
Technically, they're the companies. I do normally wear them, but yes, they are the companies. And a whole lot more available from Monster right now. And because it is 4th of July week, there is a big sale going on right now. A whole bunch of 4th of July specials on headphones and speakers and the cables to connect them and the rest of your home entertainment system are all available from HDMIs to the Monster Blaster and the iSport headphones, all on sale right now by going to f5live.tv/monster. And of course, that music means that it is time for the Piltch Point with online editorial director of Laptop Magazine and Tom's Guide, Avram Piltch. Avram's still here, kind of.
Yes. Well, this is you can't see me.
It's true.
But well, I'm doing a big jig with this KOOV robot. But yes. I'm still here, even if the internet totally isn't exactly here between us.
It's true. So we're going to talk about something that you mentioned last week on our 10-year anniversary show. A product that you had gotten in. We're excited about getting to see in action.
Yes. So lately, last few months, I've been making effort, and Tom's Guide, we've been making effort to cover more robot kits and STEM kits for kids. Because, first of all, as a parent, it's something I want to share with my son, although he's a little on the young side for a lot of this stuff. He kind of, I play with it, and he helps me put stuff together, and he's sort of picking up the basic concepts. But this is becoming a huge market now. It's like everybody's coming out with some kind of a STEM toy. Yeah, and they're not, and they range from real cheap to real expensive, but the whole belief behind them is, your kids should learn about programming. Now, in a lot of cases, it's not just programming; it's also building stuff. So what I have here that you can't see is the KOOV. It's a new kit from Sony. It's not out yet in the U.S., but it's been out in Japan for a little while. It's going to be out this fall, and you can actually, believe it or not, even though this is Sony, they're selling it on Indiegogo, taking pre-orders on Indiegogo right now.
Okay.
And they're trying to hit $100,000 goal.
I want to say hi to the people in the Periscope chat room who are talking to us right now. Hello.
Hey.
Hello.
They don't need. They told me they don't need the money to make it because they already manufacture it, the KOOV kit, but that they wanted to kind of generate some attention, and if you order it there, you can get it a significant discount, and discount is good because the kit is a little expensive. There's going to be two sizes of kit. The basic kit and the advanced kit, which has all of the sensors and motors and blocks, is $500.
Okay.
And the starter kit, which has most of the sensors and motors and blocks, is going to be $350. But if you order them now, it's like $100 or $200 off.
Oh wow!
But let's get to the nitty gritty of what it is and what it does. So it's designed for kids ages 8 and up. My son is 5, and we were trying it together. It is a set of plastic blocks that work a lot like Legos, but they're not Legos and they're not Lego compatible. That you put together, and they connect to something called the KOOV core, which is actually underneath it a modified Arduino board. But it's easy to connect to. There's no pins there are pins, but it's all pluggable. There's no soldering or, any of the stuff that people are used to making things, in the adult way. You have to do, there are wires that have plugs at the end, and you plug them in to the various sensors. And
so this is more modular than.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's more modular, but it's closer to real making than, let's say, I think that something like Little-Bits, if you're familiar with that.
Yes.
Although Little-Bits is good too, but Little-Bits is not really a programming thing as much as it is an electricity thing. This is more designed for programming. So how it works is you install the piece of KOOV software, the KOOV application. And by the way, in a very interesting and I would say controversial move, the KOOV software is available for 2 platforms, and Android is not one of them.
Wow.
Interesting.
Most of the time, what we see with these STEM kits is they're mobile apps. They're mobile applications,
Yeah.
So you can get them for Android and you can get them for iOS. In this case, it's iOS and it's Windows.
Wow.
Okay.
Oh, and I think it also will run on Mac. Yes, Windows, Mac, or iOS, but not Android, which is a little weird. So you install the application on your iPad or your computer, and then it gives you a whole bunch of tutorials you can step through, and it's somewhat gamified, like you earn badges for finishing the tutorials.
Oh, cool.
And they're very well written. The ones that I tried. So they're the tutorials that you can do. Then there are things called recipes, which really means pre-made robots you can make, and they have 23 of those. My son and I spent about 3 hours building the fire truck.
Okay.
Nice.
Because for those who don't know, my son is a really big car and truck guy. He loves that stuff. So you can make like a little hippopotamus or a monkey or whatever, but he really wanted to make the fire truck. And the thing comes with 4 wheels, and it comes with 2 DC motors, so you can make it into a rolling truck. The thing that's interesting is, they give you the instructions, and there were like 77 visual steps to go through to make this truck. now I want to emphasize that the truck's one of the advanced things.
Okay.
Like I went from the how to turn I went from the beginner tutorial how to make a LED light turn on, which if anyone's ever done that with an Arduino board knows that's like the equivalent of your first program in our Hello World.
Yeah, indeed.
Basically, to building this truck, and the truck has uses 2 DC motors on the front wheels, and it has 2 servo motors which control the ladder that you can spin around.
Oh, cool.
And instead of controlling it from the computer, the code that they give you specifically for the truck is that you have attached by wire an accelerometer and a push button, and you can use those to drive it around. Although they're attached by a wire, so you have to chase after it if it actually starts going. And then they give you, what's interesting is they give you the whole code for these recipes. Then if you want to modify it, you can modify it, but you can't really save it, which is a little weird. Your modification. And then there's what's I guess called not free play, it's called free production mode, where you can basically just design your own robot or see what other members of the social community there have built.
Sure.
And that's pretty cool, except it kind of assumes that, hey, you're not just working on this, you want to you're not just working on this, you want to share it, because as soon as you go to save, it's okay, give a picture and upload it, and you can't go back and edit something that you've already saved or
So
whatever, which is weird.
Once it's out there, it's out there.
I guess, but these are supposed to be programs. Oh,
Right.
And the programming language itself is for most kids' STEM kits, it's a block-based programming language, which means that you drag instead of typing in commands like if or logic things like if then or whatever. You get a bunch of colorful blocks, and you could drag in like an if then statement, and then you drag a block for like, what condition it's meeting and what it's going to do. Like if the accelerometer is turned, move the motor so the truck goes forward, that kind of stuff. And you can do some fairly complex code with this. I wish that there was like a text code mode, but again, they're probably targeting 8-year-olds, and they're hoping that
to give them a visual way to learn how all of those like little commands work, right?
Yeah, so I think it makes a lot of sense how they're doing it. It's the blocks are really high quality. The fact that you're using something that, even though it doesn't register as a full Arduino board, is like a real Arduino board, so you're getting kind of a similar experience. I think this is very good training wheels for a kid. But I do emphasize that it's expensive. $500 to get the full kit, that's a lot.
Right.
And then once everything that you build with it is really more of a proof of concept than a toy. So like my son liked the truck, but he's like, oh, I wanted to race it around. And it's like, well, you're going to have to chase a wire after it. And really, you can't like keep reprogramming it. I think everything that you do with it, the goal is to build this thing, program it once, then take it apart and build something else.
Yeah.
It's not for build it once. Now that's good, because you probably want to get that value out of your $500 and not just make a truck and leave it.
Right.
Whereas there are other kits I've used, like the Gmu robots, which I really like a lot, which are more around the $150 range, where you could take it apart, but it's really made to make one or two possible designs. It's definitely interesting. I think the real strength of this is the tutorials, because they're just taking you through the programming and taking you through hooking up sensors. They're very, very, very well written.
That's good.
And they have quizzes at the end, multiple choice quizzes, and you get badges. So buy this if you've got a kid who you're sure is going to use it and is going to enjoy the tutorial portion of it as much as they enjoy, say, hey, I want to make this toy monkey that is one of the pre-built recipes, and just play with it. Because the point of it is, this is very much a learning toy with the focus on the learning, and not as much a focus on the toy part. But it's fun, and for me as an adult, I enjoyed the tutorials. If only they would actually use the tutorials to teach you adult code, like Arduino code, then they could really market this to 20-year-olds, because it really, the tutorials they're teaching you are all about making things and electricity and things like that. So
Gotcha.
so that's pretty cool. Anyway, that's just a quick look at the Sony KOOV. We'll be putting up a review in a few days on tomsguide.com, and you can check it out also on Indiegogo, where they're taking pre-orders still.
All right, fantastic.
Very cool. And obviously, so just based on what you've got so far, is it do you think it's a go or a skip?
I think it's a go.
Okay.
I think it's to go.
Okay.
I think it's a go, but it only if you can afford the $500.
Right.
And you for that money that your kid is going to want to go through the tutorials and spend time with it. If you get it for them for the holidays or their birthday, and they open it and use it one time, you're going to be really upset that you spent $500.
Fair enough.
Make sure your kid's a tinkerer.
Yeah.
Fair enough. All right. So I don't know if you said it. Is the review up now, or is it coming soon?
No, coming soon.
Okay.
Today was my first day playing with it. This is fresh information.
That's what I thought you said, but I wanted to make sure.
Hot off the presses, people.
Hot off my dining room table.
Fantastic. And when the review does go up, it will be
on tomsguide.com. And you can, of course, check out all of our stuff on laptopmag.com, tomsguide.com, and follow me on Twitter at @geekinchief.
fantastic. Well, as always, I appreciate hearing about this. Just so you know, since we didn't have video, I pulled up the website and had it looping behind us. So,
cool.
And on the live stream, so people could at least get an idea of what it looks like. And I think the fire truck is one of the things on the website. So
yes, it's on the box.
So that way people could get an idea of what it was we were talking about.
Cool.
All right. Well, obviously for this show, we will see you next week, but we will continue talking to you for the rest of the main show.